Top 5 Dumb Mistakes Men Make with Women. Part 1. There are mistakes. And then there are the kind of mistakes that silently destroy your chances with a woman before you even realize what happened. Not because you're a bad guy, not because you didn't try, but because you didn't understand how different trying hard is from being truly attractive. And that's where we start. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where you gave her attention, you were kind, you were there when she needed someone, and yet she pulled away? She said things like, "You're such a great guy, or, "I just don't feel that spark." You see, the first dumb mistake men make is being too available. Not emotionally available, but always available. You make her the center of your world before she even knows if she wants to be a part of it. And here's the truth. Nobody told you growing up. A woman doesn't fall for the man who's always there. She falls for the man who has somewhere to be, something to do, a purpose that burns so bright. She wants to be close just to feel the heat. If she's your everything and you're her option, you've already lost. It doesn't mean you should ignore her. It means you should respect yourself enough not to orbit around her life like a satellite begging for signal. You're not a backup plan. You're the plan. But most men don't see that. Because we were taught that being nice is the key. That the more you give, the more they'll care. But people, especially women, don't fall for effort. They fall for energy. For a man whose presence feels like gravity. Grounded. Unapologetic, focused. The moment you stop chasing, you become the man she actually starts to notice. In the next part, we'll break down the second mistake, one that most men make without realizing, and it destroys not only attraction, but also respect. And without respect, love doesn't grow. It dies. Top 5 Dumb Mistakes Men Make with Women. Part 2. Let's talk about the second mistake, the one that doesn't just kill attraction, it slowly drains every ounce of respect she had for you. Over-explaining yourself, over-apologizing, justifying every little thing you do. It sounds harmless, right? You just want her to understand. You're trying to be transparent. But what you're actually doing is telling her, "I'm insecure about my decisions, and I need you to validate them." And no woman wants to be with a man who's constantly seeking approval. You see, masculinity isn't about dominance or loudness. It's about certainty. Quiet, calm certainty. The kind that doesn't need to defend itself. The kind that stands on its own. When you say something and then instantly follow it up with nervous clarifications like, "If that's okay with you," or "I didn't mean it that way," or "Sorry, I just thought." What she hears isn't kindness. She hears weakness. And weakness, not the human kind, but the behavioral kind, is unattractive. Because if you can't hold your own in a casual conversation, how will you hold your ground when life gets hard? A woman tests a man, not to be cruel, but to find the edge of his confidence. She'll challenge your words. She'll question your choices, not because she wants to tear you down, but because she wants to see if you believe in what you're saying. You don't need to explain everything. You don't need to apologize unless you did something truly wrong. You don't need to soften every statement just to be liked. In fact, the most attractive men are the ones who can say less and mean more. Because silence, when it comes from a man who is sure of himself, says 1,000 things words never could. It says, "I don't need to prove anything to you. I know who I am." And that energy, that unshakable energy, is what makes a woman lean in, trust you, and see you not just as a nice guy, but as someone rare, someone solid, someone she doesn't just like, but respects. In the next part, we'll talk about a mistake that most men think is romantic, but actually pushes women away faster than anything else. Top 5 Dumb Mistakes Men Make with Women. Part 3. The third mistake? It looks sweet. It looks romantic. It looks like something every movie tells you to do. But in the real world, it makes her feel like she's suffocating, putting her on a pedestal, making her your entire world. Now don't get it wrong. Affection is beautiful. Loyalty is powerful. Being present in a relationship, that's essential. But when you make her your sun, your moon, your reason to exist, something inside her starts to recoil. Why? Because no woman wants to carry the weight of being your only source of meaning. When you drop your friends, stop your goals, quit the gym, and abandon your mission just to be available for her 24/7, you think you're showing love. But what you're really showing is that you have nothing else going on. No fire, no backbone, no center. And that's not love. That's emotional dependency. What's worse? She starts to feel guilty. She feels like she's holding your entire emotional state in her hands. Like one bad mood from her could ruin your whole week. That's not romantic. That's pressure. Real attraction doesn't come from obsession. It comes from polarity. You, a man on his path. She, a woman who chooses to walk beside you, not become your path. You're not supposed to orbit around her. You're supposed to have a gravity of your own. When a man is so focused on a woman that he forgets who he is, she stops being drawn to him. Because she doesn't want to be your savior. She wants to be your partner. Someone who joins you on your mission, not someone who becomes it. Remember, the things that made her attracted to you in the first place, your drive, your curiosity, your ambition, your independence, those are the exact things you must never lose, not even in love. Because the moment you lose yourself for her, she'll start to lose interest in you. In the next part, we'll talk about the fourth mistake, one that makes men look emotionally weak, even when they think they're just being nice. Top 5 Dumb Mistakes Men Make with Women. Part 4. The fourth mistake is something many men confuse with strength. They think it makes them kind, selfless, or a good man. But in her eyes, it often looks like the opposite. Suppressing your emotions, acting like nothing ever bothers you. Some men have been taught since childhood, don't cry, don't feel, don't complain. Be a rock. So they bring that mindset into relationships. They think if they show pain, disappointment, or vulnerability, it'll make them look weak. So what do? They bottle everything up. They smile through disrespect. They stay silent when something hurts. They pretend everything's fine, until it's not. Until they explode. Because no matter how strong you think you are, pain that's buried alive never dies. It festers. It leaks out in sarcasm, resentment, emotional shutdowns, or passive-aggressive comments. And she can feel it. The truth is, emotional numbness is not strength. It's fear in armor. It says, I don't trust you enough to show you who I really am. And women don't feel close to men who are emotionally hidden. They may admire you, or even tolerate the silence. But they won't feel connected. They won't feel safe. Vulnerability doesn't mean breaking down all the time. It doesn't mean you cry on her shoulder every week. It means you have the courage to be real. To say, that hurt me. To admit, I'm struggling right now. To confess, I'm afraid of failing. That level of honesty builds something rare. Emotional intimacy. Not neediness, not weakness, but trust. Because if you can face your own pain and speak it with clarity, not drama, she'll see a man who is both strong and self-aware. And that's magnetic. On the flip side, the man who hides behind humor, avoids confrontation, and masks his struggles under fake smiles. He becomes a stranger, a mystery, not the good kind. So stop pretending you're fine when you're not. Let her see your humanity, your edges, your heart. Because real masculinity isn't about hiding emotions. It's about owning them without being ruled by them. In the next part, we'll dive into the final and perhaps most painful mistake men make, one that silently destroys trust without them even noticing. Top 5 Dumb Mistakes Men Make with Women. Part 5. The fifth and most devastating mistake: living without a backbone. Letting a woman become the center of your world. Not in a poetic, romantic way, but in a way that erases your mission, your purpose, your edge. It starts innocently. You meet someone, you're enchanted, and slowly, you start rearranging your life around her. You stop going to the gym. You stop seeing your friends. You answer every text in 5 seconds. You say yes when you mean no, just to avoid conflict. And over time, you become a shadow of the man you were. Not because she asked for it, but because you gave up the things that made you, you. And here's the brutal truth. She starts to resent you for it. She doesn't want a man who orbits around her like a lost planet. She wants a man with gravity, someone with direction, purpose, conviction. Someone who can say no, draw a line, and lead himself even when it's uncomfortable. When you lose your center, you stop being attractive. You stop being respected. Because a man without a mission becomes a man without mystery. And a man without mystery becomes replaceable. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about staying rooted. You had dreams before her. Keep chasing them. You had values before her. Keep living them. You had boundaries before her. Reinforce them. Because a man who doesn't lead his own life cannot lead in a relationship. Leadership doesn't mean domination. It means clarity, stability, integrity. It means she can trust that your love is not based on fear of losing her, but on strength, presence, and truth. Many men give up their backbone to avoid arguments, to keep the peace, to stay safe. But peace that comes at the cost of self-respect is not peace. It's slow self-destruction, and women can smell it. So if you've noticed yourself bending too much, apologizing for your opinions, or saying yes to things that make you shrink, stop. Stand up. Not in anger, but in dignity. Because the most magnetic man is the one who loves with his heart and lives with a spine.